My baby, this is a letter for you. You belong to me. You belong to me. My baby, this is a letter for you. You belong to me. You belong to me. My baby, this is a letter for you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's settle in. What a morning so far. I was just talking to someone just now during the break, somebody from Ministry of Home Affairs, and he was just telling me, how great is this morning? He asked me, where did you find all the speakers? Who curated this whole thing? Well, I think it's a huge effort from our DNDA25 partners and, of course, our SP group here. So thank you so much. I hope you are just as energized as we are here. We are heading into our morning plenary now, and this one looks at how design can bring business, community, and care a little closer together. It is a very big topic, but also one that many of you have been talking about on the DYC app and Anusha AI, so this should be a good one. To kick things off, let's invite our moderator to join us on stage. Please welcome back the man responsible for the blast from the past moment yesterday, when he showed a 25-year-old magazine with a Don Norman article in it. Let's welcome him back, Mr. Hong Kai Seng, founder and director of Studio Dojo and president, Design Business Chamber. May we also invite our panelists to join us. Chuwek Wong Watanatsilpa, Chief Executive Officer, Bank of Singapore. Dr. Jeffrey Koh, Associate Professor at Singapore Institute of Technology and also Business Communication and Design Head at Design Factory. And finally, Larry Yung, Executive Director at Participate in Design. Kaisen, please take it away.
All right. Thank you. Welcome back. Wow. We had like 3 fire hoses of inspiration for the morning, and we're going to continue that. So we're just going to jump right to it, just because I think of time, and I want to make sure that we get a bit of depth in the conversation. So I'm going to hand it off to very quick intros. Choi, would you lead us into an intro about who you are, what you do? Yeah.
Okay, so actually I'm not the Chief Executive Officer. I'm only Chief Experience Officer, which means...
Still CEO lah.
Yeah,
CEO.
Correct, CEO. But
CXO.
We call CXO, basically not confusing, but we actually, what we do, we try to make sure that whenever the customer actually interact with us, they have consistent experience across all the touch points. Because we have digital, we have client center, we also have a lot of things that, clients from time to time, they might go a certain channel, but if anything happen, they have help they need, we also need to make sure that we resolve the issue properly. So, and then we also run a lot of engagement event with our clients. So we have the team that reach out and actually make an event similar to this, but actually in very different topic. Sometimes about longevity, sometimes it's about sustainability or investment, and many things that the client actually looking for us to provide them information. So that's my current job scope now.
Cool, thanks. Let's give you a round of applause just to encourage. And just to, Bank of Singapore is a private bank, and Choi actually has been a rising star, and he's sort of supporting, for example, in DBS, growing a huge team. So he's been actually a big trailblazer within the landscape in Singapore. So I think we will hopefully hear a bit about the experience there, yeah? So next up, we have Jeffrey.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, and it's a real pleasure to be able to sit up here with everyone and share a little bit. I'm Associate Professor and Head of Design Factory at SIT. Design Factory is kind of a pirate ship. We are kind of an outlier at SIT, and I'm very proud to be an outlier, that we are an outlier at SIT. And I just steward like a team of really awesome designers who help me and help the community do some impactful work and what we think is inspiring. So a lot of that has to do with social innovation. We use creative application of technology, and we put the A into STEM. So we take art and we try to use art as a way for us to engage with communities and further goals and values that we're searching. So yeah, that's about me and Design Factory. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, and he's got really interesting creative ideas, pulling from many different places, and yeah, we'd love to have that. Larry, last but not least, he's a design hero of mine. Today is the first day I've met him, but really a big fan of his work. So Larry, please give a quick introduction.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry from Participate in Design. We are a small not-for-profit organization, but the main thing that we do is to work with architects and planners to design the citizen engagement process, so that communities and stakeholders can come together to co-create solutions. And I'm architect trained, but back then when I was a designer, I often think like architects know it all, right? But the more I do, the more I question, why are community not involved in the design process? And that was where I decided to take a little different path. And right now, I think I'm in this job almost more than 10 years, working with communities, and there's so many things that I've learned. And it was really nice to hear from our speakers earlier this morning, about common values that I have learned in the past 12 years as well. For example, right, the importance of capacity building, the importance of inclusivity and accessibility so that people can be involved in the design. And last but not least, how can we bring people together to co-create agendas and make decisions? I think there's so many things that I've learned, from today and also from the work that I've done. But all these things also come with challenges, right? So I can't wait to discuss with the panelists later, all these learnings and things that we have experienced for the past few days as well. So yeah, over to you, Kai-Xiang.
Thanks, Larry. And I think we've heard hope, challenge, a lot of different interconnecting issues as well. Yesterday on the afternoon panel, we talked about the SDG goals, where we're at. And I thought since it's day 3 and we're kind of starting to conclude, I thought I'll share a few organizing frames for us so that we can understand all the different talks that have happened the past couple of days as well. And then we'll love for you to respond to that. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you is, the idea, Larry, that, architects, when we are trained by whatever school we come from, and for me it's computer science, is we think we can solve things, architecture maybe through buildings, computer science through developing software, business people by creating new business models, and maybe that solution or the idea of how we relate to the world has to be different with each different thing, right? So that's why I think I love it when it's HCD+, because there's also an inclusive element of who else is needed to be part of the conversation, and that's really important. So maybe we'll run through a very quick set of slides just to set the scene for at least this plenary.
Would it be okay if we respond to that?
Yeah, of course.
So maybe this idea of solutioning and how we're all involved with solving problems. I personally think, and this is probably picked up from way smarter people than me that I've listened to, is that there actually is no solution. We're constantly trying to solve something, but really that solution leads to another problem. And myself, my background is in engineering, it's in fine art, it's in design. I've studied across all of these things, and I'm mediocre at all of these things, which is why I'm a professor, I guess. But the whole idea here is that I feel that designers are not the best at solving problems. I think engineers are probably the best at solving problems. I think designers are the best at describing the problem, to finding the problem, to articulating the problem, to sharing that problem. And I'm actually quite sick and tired of designers trying to solve things. I would rather prefer us to uncover and describe those things, because if we are going to collaborate across complex teams, there needs to be someone that actually articulates what that problem is, because that's the problem that is worth solving. So I would urge us not to solve problems, actually. I'd urge us to kind of discover and understand the problem.
Yeah, and actually if you kind of Google, let's give a round of applause to that, and so a lot of times if you Google or you ask Gen AI what is design or design thinking, usually the first line is design thinking or design is a problem-solving approach. And I think we have to break away from the idea that it's just a problem. Yes, sometimes we do come up with prototypes and we learn, but it's not only that. I think there's a thumb of approval from the person who named this conference. Thank you very much. So have a think about how you want to introduce this to your stakeholders, how you want to position design in terms of that as well, right? So I'm going to run through a little bit of this, and this is based on my own practice that, hey, I came from HCI, the design thinking side of things, which is the top right, and I realized, it doesn't kind of, it works in some nice case studies, but a lot of times, there are challenges to that. I realized, hey, we actually need to also imagine multiple different futures, not just one singular future, but many different possibilities and to think about that and to use that to inspire us, right? So apart from that, earlier in the morning, we talked a bit about organizational development, how to work in communities. As you as well talked about that, how we dance in rhythm with each other, and the organizational strains and the crisis, as we heard from E. And then back to the self. And if we are in scarcity, we cannot hope to bring abundance into the systems we are in. So the leadership development and the cultivation is really important. And I think I'm very excited with the unconference later. I think there's a topic about deep breathing and really understanding how to connect with our vagus nerve and just take a bit of a breath